Hey y'all. Sorry for the very, very, very long break. A lot of things changed in life in terms of the pandemic, the amount of energy I had, the amount of work I was doing. Uh for those who don't know, like I did write like a short in the DC comic book last year. I also was trying to pitch and do some other stuff with them and also gain some other work along with increasing my output of reviewing film and television, along with having a day job that, unlike most people, I still went to work the entire pandemic. So yeah, this podcast took a back seat. But what we have right here is an episode that might sound a little bit dated, and it is, but I'm putting it on my platforms, the Patreon and later on the regular feed. A talk with Jamila Rowser about basically catching up and talking about her journeys in the comics, and at the time, the fresh announcement of Wash Day Diaries, the future graphic novel, shooting off from the one shot comic that should be coming out in 2022, I believe. Who knows? Pandemic threw a lot of things off, but that is what that is the bulk of this episode. And I want to try to put out a few other things I have recorded uh soon, as I now have not more time, but a little bit more energy and drive to get some more things back out into the world. So I hope you enjoy this. And you know, hey, whoever hears this, hopefully you're hearing it from one of the many platforms that I post this on. So with that, talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the episode.
It's like, but like not even like it's about like a girl going through her wash day routine, and I thought like it wasn't gonna reach a huge audience, or like a huge audience wouldn't be interested in it because it was so specific, but I didn't really care. But that is what sold it, because even though it's a very specific thing, it's something that millions of like Black women go through, so it's super relatable to people outside of the comics industry as well. And I think that's why it was able to get picked up by so many places, because they felt like their readers would be interested in it even if they don't read comics. And that's what makes me so happy, because I want more people to read comics and eventually hopefully make more comics too. But yeah, it was really wild. I do feel like mainstream is shifting as far as the stories they tell, and I think it's being influenced heavily by like indie comics too, and like what's working well in indie, and the pressure to make more, I mean, diverse is used a lot, but like even diverse stories, like not even just the people that are in the comic or behind the scenes, but like the storytelling. But the Y scene is wild, yo, and I feel like they don't talk about it a lot, because the kids comics and YA comics are huge. Like even DC is doing that sort of like that YA like collection of comics that are geared towards, I think, like teen girls, and working with like artists who don't do the more typical kind of style that's in most of their floppies. So I think it's shifting a bit, which I think is great, because it just makes the industry a lot more interesting.
So
Like Robin's doing Nubia
yeah,
for DC, and that was because they saw her work for Wash Day, which is so wild. I'm like, yo, I was so happy for her. And and I think that's really important too, is like, even if indie stuff doesn't maybe do the numbers that the mainstream stuff does, like it can lead to really big work and people are seeing it and paying attention. I think that's really important and the is a lot further than people may realize.
That's actually really good. I don't never know like who's like looking into what now since I think the
Hmm.
game has changed to such a degree and like DC has kind of have this like other lane now that they've really got different people out there. Um, yeah, actually I'm really that's happy for I'm happy for her. That's what's up.
Me too. Yeah, she was very shocked. She's like, my style is so different from what they do. And I'm like, well, that's great. Like, and then I was looking at the other books that are like in the similar vein of what they're doing, and it's a lot of different. Like, they typically have though a like popular author,
Yeah,
like a
like
and which
like
was
a YA
interesting.
author, like some
Yeah,
type of
like a
kid
huge
author.
author to
Yeah,
bring those like numbers in, um, which I think is like it's interesting because like something that I criticize DC for is like when like Ta-Nehisi Coates or Roxane Gay get like all this publicity for writing for them. It's like, cool, but why do they have to be like best-selling authors to why do the black folks have to be best-selling authors to get like work like that? Whereas there's a bunch of other like black writers that they could hire and they don't do that as much. Or if they, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like a way that you have to be
you got to be
reach some sort of
amazing.
yeah, reach some sort of status in order to be considered. You can't be regular degular.
Yeah,
And like still great, but maybe not have the followers of the audience as a Ta-Nehisi Coates
and
does.
have a
Um,
MacArthur Grant
hello, right?
or like national book awards or like bestsellers and on television every week
Exactly,
being a pundit.
exactly.
Like I'm like that's cool, that's great. I want them to eat, but like
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't seen him in the
It,
gym training in this comic book lane.
yeah, like you read comics, like, and this isn't. I don't know if Roxane Gay and Ta-Nehisi do, but like the other folks, like, do you read comics? Don't know, but I mean, I'm not reading Marvel or DC anyway. I've been not reading. I've been doing like a boycott for years. But I will break it for Robin when when Nubia comes out.
Yeah, that's what's up.
That's love.
So like, how is it going from being an attending person to a convention to now being on that wonderful other side where you have a chair and you can like rest, but you have to sell your work. Like, how does that feel? Because you've been to a couple different shows. You've really traveled
I
from
went to a
home.
lot of shows
You went
last
to
year.
places. You did some passport
I
stuff,
was
didn't you?
I was getting stamps. Yeah, like it was interesting because like last year um was sort of like an experimental Comic Con fest year for me where I was like, all right, like I got two books out, I got decent amount of merch, and I really wanted to see what what like types of festivals I did well at, to help me understand like where I should go in the future. So this year I'm definitely like chilling the fuck out because I'm like, I ain't got the time, I ain't got the money, I need to be like doing stuff. So I do like it helped me understand like the cadence as well, but also like, pop culture like focused festivals, no, not working for me at all. Like ain't nobody coming for me unless I got fan art. So that was really interesting. Like it wasn't surprising, but it was a bummer because like the one that I did that was more pop culture was SuperCon down here, and I
Yeah.
really want to do like as many local festivals as I can, but like Lord have mercy. First off, that festival is 4 days long, and it is like it's freezing in there. It's long hours. I was exhausted, so it was hard on my body, um, and I didn't do well. Like I just people weren't interested. I think because a lot of folks go there for like thinking about fan art more. So that was a lesson learned, but like places like Black Comic Book Festival, like I will go to every single year. Like I will fly up there for it, because it's like I love the crowd and I do well at. Like it makes sense financially for me. TCAF I did well at too, which I was really glad at because I love TCAF. Like it's one of my favorite festivals. But like being behind the scene, like being behind the table it's really interesting. Like this past year, like I really learned a lot about I think what was helpful was because I used to attend so many festivals as an attendee that I kind of knew how to like treat folks who came by the table and understand like I knew what I didn't like to feel when I was an attendee. Like I don't like people trying to like pressure or guilt me into buying some of their comics or like telling me of like 5 minute spiel about what the story is about, even if I didn't ask, like, because then I feel guilty that I gotta buy it, and just how to like seem approachable and friendly and display my comics and all that kind of stuff. Like that, being an attendee helped me be a better vendor at the conventions for sure. It is also very tiring. As well. And it was difficult too, like having celiac disease and not being able to eat gluten. Like I just have to do a lot more research in advance of like what I can eat in the
Yeah.
area if I have to bring food myself. Being wary of like getting chronic like because I get chronic migraines, like just like being really mindful of my physical state and like being at these places where you have to be on like the entire time and talking and selling and standing a lot. Like it's hard on your body, and maybe it's just because I'm washed now that it's I feel it more than I would have felt it like if I was in my early 20s. But I love going to conventions. Like it's just it feels so good to see people see my work in person and like chat with them and all that kind of stuff, or meet people who had actually heard about me. Like I always leave feeling really like charged up. Like I'm ready to like make five more comics. So I love it, but I definitely can't do as many as I did last year. I was wilding out. I was doing the most.
You had a nice little tour popping.
I
You was
sure
all over the
did. I
place.
sure did.
So all these adventures and all this goodwill, how's that affected your work and in terms of making
Mm,
new comics? Is your goal to make a series next, or to continue with like one shots of vignettes of
mm-hmm.
little small stories focusing on a limited number of characters and
Yeah.
lifestyles of black and brown women?
It's interesting. Like it hasn't changed the stories that I want to create. It's only actually made me feel more confident that w- like what I've done so far has been really true to what I want, like the stories that I wanted to tell. And because it's resonating with folks and I'm able to see that at festivals and hear that online, I feel good about like everything else that I'm going to create. Although they are all very similar. But I feel good that I can just kind of keep on doing the ideas that I have, which have been one shots. Maybe I don't know. Like I don't have any ideas for like anything like a series yet. There are some that I had that started off as one shot ideas that I think would be really good as a series. So I might hold off on working on that until I think I could kind of get that more developed. One that I think will be like kind of funny. It's like a reality show based comic, and because like I love like reality shows are so messy, and I wanted to do like a really messy comic. Um, so yeah, most of like the stuff that I'll have coming out probably over the next 2 years will be one shots, but maybe I'll kind of build up my energy for a series and kind of figure out financially how that will work. Like, do I want it to be a web series and then turn it into like a print book or um, yeah, there's lots to figure out there. So far, so though, it'll be some one shots. Not too long either. I just don't have the time too. And like I just have there's like so many ideas that I already have that I'm like, let me get these out my system and then I'll get to a longer one.
Hmm. So how do you go about partnering up with artists? Like, are
Oh,
these
yeah.
pre-established relationships that you've already had, and then you like, yo, when I got this, it's you, then it's you, then it's you, or are you out here secretly on the low, like, I like this
I'm
person. Let me reach out. Let
kind
me
of
do some more research and.
I'm kind of on the low to be honest. Like it's funny because like I follow so many different artists that I love. But I really want to try to only work with Black and brown women. So I it's usually I see somebody's work. Well, with Wash Day specifically, like it's really interesting because I was working on the script and I had my eye out on like some folks, and I had my eye out for people who would be a good fit for Wash Day. And I actually didn't know Robin before I saw somebody retweet her art, and it was around the time like the punching Nazi thing was happening, and she retweeted like an art or like one of her pieces, and it said like finna punch some Nazis, and I'm like fuck yeah. And then I loved the art, and I like looked at her work, and I just loved like how she drew hair and black women. I was like ooh, and it was in black and white, and I knew Wash Day was going to be in black and white, and I was like oh, this looks so fucking good. So I started following her, and then I like bought her comic, and then try to build like a rapport sort of naturally, but I was like on a little sneak tip,
Mm-hmm.
just so I didn't like my email wouldn't come out the blue where she's like, "Who are you?" Kind of thing. So that's how that worked out. And it's been similar with Sabby. Like I followed her from the hashtag drawing while black. Sabby who did Wobbledy, and I loved her style so much, and I was like, I want to do a comic with her. So that was just like something I kept in my head, and like I bought some of her prints and would like just leave comments, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't seem like a stranger popping up in her inbox. But also, so like maybe if she followed me, she would see like, oh, I know some people who follow her. Like she's a credible person, or at least seems like it, you know.
Yeah.
So I it's interesting because like the idea for Wobbledy came from literally like back that ass up and the first 10 seconds of that song. And originally it wasn't going to be sci-fi, and I was like well I really want to work with Sabby, so maybe she can do this, and if she does this I really love her colors and character design, so I made it sci-fi specifically for her because I wanted her to be able to like flex on like colors and character design and all that kind of stuff and have like more fun with it. But I also felt like it just really worked to kind of show like twerking is universal and like it's the same thing we deal with in our earth, it's happening in this other earth. But I also felt like the sci-fi stuff could add to like the comedic elements of the comic as well, so I made the comic sci-fi for Sabby, and then I hope she said yes, and then she did. So that worked out really. And then I announced recently that I'm doing a gungun with Samantha Wade, and I had found her work from Shortbox because she did a comic with Shortbox, and I love her style. So I was like following her, was like, oh my god, I love your work so much. And we started chatting about like potential comic ideas, and yeah, I was like, I want to do a comic with you. She's like, I'd love to do it with you. So like, I had her in mind. And so when I started working on a Gungun, and I knew it was gonna be my next one, I was like, well, Sam's in the queue. I want to work with her next. So yeah, that's kind of how that's been going. Been mostly like people that I did not know for very long, which is interesting because I know so many different artists, but. I think it's because like the art style I'll see is like it's really like the style that will excite me, and I think like could work really well with whatever comic I'm working on. Um, yeah.
So, with so much of your comics focused, like narratively on like, it's not even small, but they're also like really rap music inspired because not everybody might not get that like the characters of like in Wash
Mhm,
Day are
mhm,
inspired by like Outcast skits,
mhm,
and then like Wobbly 3000 is basically is just like taking over for the 99 and 2000 and like
exactly.
what that means for an entire generation of women. Uh,
Yeah.
um, are you still like are you still mining the music of like your youth and past, or
Mm, mm,
has modern music in a sense failed you to not hold up in types of inspiring stories and ideas, much like the music of the late the shiny suit era, as we technically is
Shiny
what it
suit
is.
man, right?
The shiny suit era, you know, like
Word. That's so interesting. It's I would first the quick answer is no, but maybe in a sense. The I think what you will really end up seeing in the comics easily, as far as like names or setting or things like that, have like really been inspired by like hip hop and like R&B in the past. Like even with Wobble D 3000, like the setting was heavily inspired by like late 90s, early 2000s, like rap and R&B music videos, which were like super futuristic looking, and folks like Busta and Missy and stuff, who I felt like fit easily in that world. Um, and I feel like it's because those things have lived with me for so long, so my like nostalgia and affinity to them are stronger because of that time. So I think those influences are going to be way more obvious. But when it comes to like storytelling, a lot of my influences are not just like Missy and Outkast, but also like a lot of my influences, to be honest, are either like mangaka or musicians. So there's like Missy and Outkast, like I really think about when it comes to like being innovative, and like Missy and Frank and SZA, I think about how I want to create stories that are this mix of like highbrow, lowbrow sort of storytelling. Like I think Missy does it. I think they all actually do it like really well, where the like sonically and production and all that kind of stuff is very like I don't even know if I would really say highbrow, but like it's on like a different level than the lyrics that they usually accompany those, which I
mm-hmm.
love because like I feel like the lyrics and is are way more like relatable and down to earth, whereas maybe like the production is on like another plane, and I think they mix those like really well, and I find that it's really like Missy, like Frank Ocean is, somebody who I think does it really well, and SZA. So I think about that because that's like the kind of like feeling I want my comics to give, and like the stories and visuals and stuff. But like Tyler too, I think about, and like how he has evolved so much and like keeps shit super fresh with every album, and like I never like quite know what to expect from each of his albums, and I like that, and I that like inspires me to keep folks guessing too, like not kind of making the same thing all of the time, which I feel good about because most of my stories like are not like they're all very different, but usually like there's always black folks in them. That's the running theme. But yeah, like I think a lot about music when I think about creating comics. I think about music for like storytelling and like visuals a bit, and I think about like josei manga, certain josei mangaka actually, for like pacing and like space and like how I take up space in comics and stuff. And really like I think because I love manga art so much, like I like to have my comics breathe more, and maybe that's why I don't like have a ton of dialogue all the time either, because I like trust the artist and want them to flex, and it's yeah, and using like showing not telling all the time. um just think about feelings, like what kind of vibes do I want my comics to give off?
The vibes.
The vibe, yo.
So, you're very influenced by Japanese aesthetics of story and with manga and a certain types of women demo manga in terms of what you've been talking about. Do you think that we're at a tipping point where the nature of, let's say, black geekdom is at half and half between what we consider geekdom, which is like Marvel, DC, maybe some Image and American cartoons, and it being overrun with like entirely by people whose idea of geekdom is like based upon Japanese aesthetics, like
Mm,
anime,
mm, mm,
games, even like cute things like from like your love of Pokemon to even to
mm-hmm.
like, and you know there's a certain thing with the rise of like black anime that I personally don't agree with, but in terms of the terminology,
I agree. I know what you mean. Like
but
people using like saying this is a manga, but like
yeah,
it's
because
not a manga.
to me that gets into the whole idea of like appropriation, but like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
being hypocritical because if a say if a Japanese person has cornrows, it's like yo appropriation, but like yo you want to steal their whole shit. But that's an entirely
Agree.
different
Yeah,
discussion.
that's a whole new, yeah,
That's like
yeah.
3 hours of talking, really.
It sure is. Yeah, I have feelings about that.
But like clearly, it's a thing. Even from the music, even like years ago, we would talk about like all these like southern rappers who would just randomly throw in like anime lines to the point where like it's not just southern rappers. It's like UK grime artists. It's sometimes some of the biggest rappers might have like a random, just now I don't even know if it's random anymore. Like there's Dragon Ball Z here, then there's like
Hmm.
most of the younger black people that are cosplaying. They make cosplay as like like a black Marvel character. They'll do like a Miles Morales, but for the most part, like we had Megan Thee Stallion cosplaying as Todoroki on Paper Magazine.
My waifu.
Like this is the point we're at. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
becoming to this thing, and then when I look at the comics, even they don't have to like your comic doesn't look like manga,
No.
but it has the same
Uh-huh.
feel because it's not even about something what we consider manga, which is like punching and yelling. It's like the little quiet stuff or the little offbeat stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, you've been outside a lot more lately than I have. You've been meeting and interacting with way more people. So I want to know some of your thoughts on like am I getting the feeling right? Is that kind of happening?
I think so. And I think it's like, and I've noticed, especially when I was like really heavy into doing like straight out of Gotham stuff and like seeing how the references, like I would love to like give all this data because we have like so much data that we tracked and like having charts created to see like how references like geek references have changed over the years and like when certain things were introduced, like the internet and like YouTube and like what shows were on Adult Swim and when Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon were airing like in the morning. Like it's like it has changed from like, maybe 2 decades ago or 15 years ago, there's a lot more comic book influence or references in rap. And then now it's really more so, I think, there's a lot more anime references and a lot more video game references. And I think folks have more access to those and they're just a lot more mainstream. Like, yo, black people love anime. Like Naruto, like I think which is really cool too, because like it went from like DBZ being like the thing, Dragon Ball Z and like Sailor Moon to like now it's like, okay, girls and boys and everybody like non-binaries love like Naruto a lot because I think they so many like a whole generation grew up on that and I think that led them into all this other anime as well, which I love because like I love anime. I'm pretty much a weeb. So like I kind of rock with those folks more a little bit than the other geek side. I think because the fandoms are the way they act are a bit different. But yeah, I do think it's the landscape of geekdom is changing a lot, and I think it's just we have more access to it, way more ways to stream anime, versus like getting VHSs at some shop and like or watching like 4 parts of a show on somebody's YouTube channel. Like
Mm.
there's Crunchyroll, there's Verve, there's Netflix now, which has like way more anime. Hulu, which has always had like a ton of anime. So I think that's why it's changing, and I think like the cool hip hop folks are talking about it, which makes other people be like, "Ooh, like what's this about? Megan the Stallion? Like loves anime? Like let me see who this Todoroki boy is." I think that helps as well. Like increase that sort of demographic of fans.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw like, I think I sent it to the group chat we have when she was with
Hmm.
Pharrell and she had like a random ass like Naruto shirt on. I'm like, oh, she
Yes.
just be wearing it, and then like Michael B. Jordan, he put out a Naruto line with Coach, and it's like, wait, where,
Yep.
what is,
Hmm.
huh? Like I'm like, I feel that makes me even feel like double old because it's like this feels like the stuff where it's like, oh, when the hell did we overcome and how nobody told me?
When
Like,
did we overcome?
like, like,
When did we become like popular and not like oh weird anime kind of thing? Yeah. I don't I think by force. Like by like, yo, we still like this shit. I don't care if you don't. And then eventually people just like let us be or watched it and was like, yo, this is pretty dope. I mean, trust, there's tons of trash anime out there, but
yeah,
uh,
there's a ton, but it is
it's
what
just
it is.
weird. It is weird stuff out there. But yeah, I mean, I love anime. I could talk about it all day.
What's it like? What's it like speaking to people about comics and about making comics and being asked questions, much
Mm.
like this, but in terms of like being on a panel or like, have you had any instances of people coming up to you asking you for advice or saying
Oh,
how they look up to you or something like
yeah,
that had to have
yeah.
happened by now?
I have had a lot of people ask me questions and like ask me for advice. And I've had some calls with people like that I don't know from Adam to help them with like Kickstarter and stuff like that. And um, I am always like super grateful and I always like preface it by saying this is my experience. I am not an expert and but this is like what's worked for me and this is what I recommend, especially when it comes to like writers working with artists because there's um, a lot that is involved with being like a writer working with an artist, a lot of and somebody who's like doing a Kickstarter, like there's a lot of organization. You have to be organized. You have to do your research. You have to be professional. You have to pay your artists. Like I was on a panel once actually with this guy from down here, some comic creator down here who's an artist actually or cartoonist by the way, and he literally on the panel, just me and him, like suggested to people to like like hire artists and not pay them. And like he literally did the like pay them an exposure. And it's like, yeah, like
Ooh.
if they aren't as popular as you know, you can give them more like visibility instead of paying them. And I was like, excuse me, no, like that's wrong. You should always pay your artists. If you can't afford an artist, you should look for ways that you can raise funds to pay them. You know, maybe do a Kickstarter before the comic is has been created, kind of thing. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, is this for real? But yeah, like I feel good. Like I'm always like I love helping people and I want to have people make more comics. Even, you know, and like make people and I always like telling the story of like, yo, Wash Day took so long for me to write because I thought it was trash. I thought I was trash. Like I had to fight myself and my like self-esteem in order to get it finished. And there's just a lot of fear. And it was just like, yo, at one point you just got to be like, fuck it. Like it's going to be your first work. It's not going to be perfect. You just do it, do your best, learn from it, and keep making more and keep doing the same thing, learning from that experience and keep getting better and better. Like, don't worry about being perfect and don't compare yourself to others. It's hard, it's easier said than done. But I love giving advice. Like, there's just a lot, I think, too, because like I've been in the community for so long and I come from like the blogging background and I work in social media and now I work in like online communities. So when it comes to like communications and marketing, I have like a lot of experience in that anyway, and that's helped me a lot. And I'm a very like organized person too. So, and I know that's helped like my artists that I've worked with make their lives easier because I'm like, what you're doing is way harder than what I'm doing. Not that what I do isn't easy, but it's definitely like not gonna take as long. It's not as physically intensive. I can't draw for shit. Although I could probably make a comic. Maybe if I was like a white boy. and I couldn't draw, people would buy my comic. Um,
The shade, the
but
shade of it all.
I've been to enough indie conventions to to feel that, be like, huh. But yeah, no, I love art too much to ever put anybody through that. What I would draw. Although I have shared some of like my really shitty thumbnails, which are just like, this is supposed to be a hand. You may not realize that. But yeah, like I really love like sharing info and help and stuff. And I have a lot of anxiety about public speaking, but I've done it so much that I have gotten a lot more comfortable with it. And I tell myself like, I don't have to be an expert in publishing or comic book creating. Like, I am an expert in myself. Like, as long as I'm just telling what I know and like, and being sure of myself in that case, like, I'm fine. It's not like somebody's quizzing me about like thermodynamics. I'm just talking about my own experience, and that's good enough. So don't worry about saying the wrong thing. Um, and that's kind of what's gotten me through all the panels that I've done over the years.
Okay. Do you feel it has gotten? Uh, do you feel it has gotten any? That it gotten a little bit better for Black women in comics?
I don't know what better means, but
A little bit more
like
open
like a little bit
in terms of making
mm,
stuff, being out there.
yeah, I think like progress in like maybe all aspects of media, like there's always progress, I think, every year in a certain way. Um but yeah, it's one of those things where like we have such a long way to go. But any sort of progress is good. I think what has helped is people slowly realizing the fucking buying power of Black women and Black people. Um, and I think for the people who need convincing that it's financially like um, a good idea to invest in like a Black woman creating comics, they see like, oh, Black people buy shit. Like, because there's always those like white men who need, they're motivated by money, not by like what's right. So that has helped, I think. Because listen, like when I tell you, like the Black Comic Book Festival, I do the best at it is because Black people love buying shit, and they love buying shit from Black people. Like we all, like, you know how it is. Like it's like Black-owned business, like supporting each other, like that is there. But I think there's also like you know what? I think about that, and I think about that skit from the Black Lady Sketch Show. I don't know if you saw that season, but when they go to the restaurant and they go to like this black owned restaurant and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're supporting this black owned restaurant, but it's like the service is the worst. The
It was
service
rubbish. It was
the
rubbish. It was
service is
funny.
awful, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And like I find that like I'm sure we've all had experiences like that, but like we're doing it out of love, and I want to be one of those folks that they can support, but the service isn't terrible.
So you know, so what's your plans for the future? Like, do you want to grow beyond? Do you want to would you want to get somebody to call you, be like, hey, we want you to write this YA novel, or are you open to doing like other things if it pops off, if it happens, if you get the opportunity?
I am open to money. Yeah. No, I'm open to, like, I think it would take a lot for me to be open to writing a story that is pitched to me, like some publisher saying like, "Hey, we want you to write this specific story," and I'd be like, if it's not something that's for me, then I'm not going to do it. Like if it's not my brand, as folks say. But I'm definitely down for working for larger publishers and telling stories that I already want to tell. Um, for sure. And I'm gonna keep doing my own thing as well, and hope that that happens. like for like I'm not interested in writing for like Marvel and DC, but if the check's big enough, we'll see.
Yeah,
They're
and a
probably
gangster boo take over. Be like, where
they're
them dollars
probably
at?
like, Don't worry, girl, we're not calling you."
You never know. You never know.
You're right.
Um,
We'll quote this
yeah,
later
you know what I'm
in like
saying.
5 years and something happens.
I'll be like, was the bag fat though? That's gonna.
But you're gonna have to know it was because I have a full-time job, so I ain't got the time to be saying yes to things that I'm not interested in, or that where the bag ain't big enough.
Are you done with blogging? Are you done with
I
talking
sure
about
am.
things?
I sure am. It's just like I think it did what I wanted it to do, and I slowly just started to it like birthed so much that I've created. Like it birthed Geek Girl Brunch and Straight Outta Gotham and helped me get the confidence and inspiration to write comics. So like it is, RIP Girl Gone Geek, but I ain't blogging no more. I just can't imagine. I don't have the time. I do not have the time, not unless somebody pays me.
So I know that you don't have a bunch of time today, but I want to ask you
hmm
what, what in the early 2020, what is the jams that are getting you through
Ooh.
right
Mm.
now?
Oh my God. You know who I've been obsessed with recently? Bad Bunny. I love me some Bad Bunny. I don't know what he's saying, but because even though I'm Puerto Rican Dominican, I do not speak Spanish. But I fucking love Bad Bunny. So I've been listening to like Vete from him and what else? Just like all of his greatest hits. Vete and Galita. I love J Balvin too, and I like their like joint album together, Oasis. And I live in Miami too, so I hear this shit like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, New stuff though, to be honest, like I did listen to the new Lil Wayne and I loved it. It like gave me so much energy, like from the first listen, but it is very exhausting because it's like he is rapping on
Yeah.
like throughout. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I could just vibe to this. Like, no, shit is intense. And it's long. So I don't listen to it often and I don't think I make like I think I come back from maybe like specific songs or a specific time, but like the most recent stuff that I really fuck with are like I mean not it's not new no more, but I love the shit out of Igor and Stokely from Ski Mask, which is still not new. But like I played a hole through those I streamed a hole through those fucking song of those albums. And Megan the Stallion, of course. Cash Shit, like I still come back to all the time. Like it's like one of my favorite songs of the last 2 years, and it probably will be. Um, yeah, I haven't been listening to like anything new that I keep kind of going back to my tried and true. Like I love me some Young Thug. I actually like just listened to Barter Six recently again because it's one of my favorite albums. Um,
Dang.
it's like it's so good. Um, mm, I'm probably forgetting like things, but
Did,
those are
did you
I
like Tyler's
listen to my
speech?
mixes. Oh yeah, I did. And like
His
him
like
talk
the
about
ghetto thing, being ghettoized in the industry or whatever. Like I thought it was interesting.
it was. I always appreciate him for speaking his mind, and like not being a filtered artist. But I do get it because like when you listen to Igor, it doesn't sound like I feel like Igor makes more sense in pop music, but they won't put him in pop because he's black. And I think they probably do that with a lot of folks that should belong in maybe other categories or that are very like genre bending that they don't know what to do, but they're like, it's a nigga, let's put him with the others. So I get his frustration there, but I also feel like if he was in maybe pop, he wouldn't have won because he's black and they're like these
Yeah.
pop girls are doing numbers more or more popular because it's really interesting with him too because he doesn't really get played on radios but his fan base is strong and I find that he's one of the most interesting and innovative like voices in hip hop that we have now. um so yeah, I liked I liked his speech. I was really happy that he won because I really liked Igor, and I did not realize he did not win a Grammy yet. So good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. What have you been listening to?
You know me. I try to spend them Fridays, and I listen to a whole. Man, that's even like hard to say. Like, what did I listen to last on Friday? There was a. You know how many songs came out on Friday? I wanted to like hit y'all like a
Uh,
gang of songs came
so
out.
well,
Like,
I did listen to the new Denzel Curry, which I liked a lot.
see, I still gotta
Um,
listen to that. Like Brent Faiyaz had a song out. I'm trying to learn about this Pop Smoke kid.
I like his voice a
Uh,
lot. I'm really into voices in rap, like interesting voices, and I like his voice a lot. And I dug his album. Um, yeah, it was okay. Like it wasn't like, yo, this shit is fire, but like I think he's somebody I'd be into because he sounds cool.
yeah. Like
Oh,
I'm just getting used to him. So I'm like,
yeah,
I just know he been bubbling up. So I'm like, all right, I can't be super washed. I gotta only be like kind of washed. So I gotta
kind
know
of.
what
You
the
gotta
people is
know
into.
some new people. I've been
Yeah,
listening to Doja's Hot Pink a lot. I think it's a really strong album.
it is. Her
She's
melody
like,
game is crazy.
it's so good. I really like that, and I love me some Rico Nasty too. So I come back to her songs a lot when I want to like rage.
Yeah, her songs are really
Yeah,
like
I fucking love.
belligerent
I want
women rap.
to
Like,
mosh to like her in concert, like just mosh with some other girls, cause I go to a lot of concerts that mosh pits end up happening to, and because the rappers I like, white boys love them, so like Tyler and like
yo, that's so interesting to
say
me.
anybody. I don't know why. It's like so interesting the type of like white boys who like the different types of rappers. There's the ones who are like so into lyricism, and then there's the ones who love to rage. And yeah, so I want to go to a Rico concert and fucking rage because if I do a girl, then maybe I won't end up as much bruises, or at least it was like a girl who gave me a bruise and
You know, dude.
not a white boy.
I'm
'Cause
listening to her a lot. She's been putting out a lot of songs like every other week or so. Like
yeah,
the new streaming era of we just gonna drip out music and then randomly it'll become a project. You
yeah,
know,
right.
like there's not even albums no more. Like I'm not even calling it an album. Like nah, it's a project. Like no one buys music anymore. No one even downloads music anymore. That's what we got to the point where like
I don't know the last
people
time
don't
I
even
bought something.
people don't even steal it no more. It's just
No,
like
there's for what? For what? You don't need to.
yeah, it's so wild. But like I'm trying to update my nice little playlist. If people go back to it, they'll see like, oh, there's new songs here. Like, yeah, like I do that. Some Friday morning, I'll just listening to music to get it out of the way. Like, it's like work, but good work. It's like breakfast or something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta eat my cereal. So let me get this out here.
Oh, I like recently not discovered, but like recently finally listened to Baby Mother, and fucking,
Yo,
I fucking live like
baby
perfect
mother
for
is the
me.
shit.
So good. I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, why did it take me?
Baby mother's like got that slow flow like a currency or freaking Devin the dude to just be like, yeah, like wow, like
Uh,
you kind of like hit back like, oh, this might be too real, like oh,
right?
like
I'm like,
ooh.
damn, girl. Shit. It's
Like
good.
it's like the whole hood just pop up around you, like oh, dang, what did I get in this neighborhood? Like
Just
shoot.
transports you to a different place.
It's like, oh yeah, no wonder she ain't blow up yet, because some of y'all ain't ready for this. This is too
True.
real.
It's one of those like y'all ain't ready for this discussion.
Yeah, like damn, like whoa, like yeah, baby mother. I'm glad people started to
Uh,
catch. I first heard like a couple years back. Like I was like ooh, damn. And I was like, well, I wonder no people ain't talking about her. That's interesting. Like oh,
I
okay,
know.
all right, it'll
Because
happen
people
eventually.
like me who took forever, or I'm like, let me listen to this person. And I was like, oh shit, my life is different now. It's probably my old ass computer. Okay, technical difficulties,
That's 2020.
right? Just one big technical difficulty.
2020's technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Okay, I'm good now.
All right. So first things first, I want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
The last time we spoke, which for listeners will be like seconds, um,
Yeah, yeah, for real.
we were just talking about you going out and selling the comic and writing the two single issues. But since then, not only have you gotten like a deal and an agent, you get to write a graphic novel based on Wash Day. Um,
Hmm.
how does that all feel? Like, what was that? What's the story? As much as you can tell
Yeah,
about
I
taking
could
Wash Day from a single issue into getting a whole graphic novel.
listen. It was completely unexpected, unplanned. I was not trying to. I was just happy with Wash Day doing, being its mini comic. But a editor from Chronicle Books approached me and Robin, and basically that they had seen Wash Day and they wanted to make it into a graphic novel and they loved it so much. And I was like, I thought it was spam. Like I didn't believe it. I was like, oh, this is a scam. Like I remember like I glanced at the email, I was like, this is probably bullshit. And then later I read it on a computer and I'm like, wait, like did some Googles. I was like, oh, this is legit. And I was like, Robin. And then just like screaming into like WhatsApp voice messages to Robin, like back and forth, like, what is this? It was so exciting. And our editor is a Black woman too, which made me so happy. It's, I just didn't, it's funny because like I did watch it independently because I didn't want to feel like having a publisher like make me not make it as Black as I wanted it to be. I
Yeah.
just wanted free reign. And so I just assumed publishers weren't going to be into this, but they have, and I've been able to make it as Black as I want. And it makes me so, so happy.
Oh man, that sounds a lot of fun. So how long is this graphic novel going to be? Like how much space
Oh,
did they give
how
you?
many pages is it? Let's see, because it started at one page count, and it got a little bigger. It's under 200. Um,
Woo!
but yeah, it's between like I think it's like 150, and maybe like 180 ish. What? So this project was I have not done a really long comic before. Like the longest one I did was the script I did was 32 pages, but that comic isn't out yet. And so I was like, oh wow, like this is an amazing opportunity, but I didn't feel that I had enough like comic growth to do a whole graphic novel. So I'm like, all right, how can I make me work, how can this work for me? Also, Wash Day was just supposed to be a one and done. And so I didn't want to, I had to figure out, like, how am I going to make this story work as a long story? I didn't want to really change Wash Day itself a lot. So that's when I came up with the idea of short stories based off of a friend group, basically. So
Mm-hmm.
it's Kim, Cookie, and then two other friends that are in their friend group that she'll meet, and they all have their own stories, plus a group story. And so I was able to focus on different parts of like Black hair in ways that I didn't get to do with Wash Day, which is really exciting. And I
Oh,
felt more confident that like, okay, I know how to do these mini comics, so I felt like more confident as a writer because this writing process, boy, it's like one minute I'm like this is the best thing ever and the next I'm like this is straight up trash. And plus the like pandemic, depression and anxiety going on, it was rough, but it was still one of the shining parts of these last couple months has been like I'm working on something for Black women by Black women, and that just keeps me going, basically.
so in a lot of ways, it's like to use a manga example, it's like Wash Day was your one shot,
Yo, right?
and then you're like, oh, they want to make this into a thing, so now you gotta like
Let
make
me
it
figure this
longer.
out.
And
Yeah,
then like there's all these extra characters and stuff you gotta
yeah.
make.
Yeah, totally. And it was really funny because there were like some of the characters existed in the original script of Wash Day that just like or the original drafts that just never made the cut. And so some of them already existed in my head. So I was really excited to also bring out like different like I a lot of the friends are like culminations of like my friends and myself. So I was really happy to show like different sides of personalities and like the main thing is hair and friendship and sisterhood, which are things that I care deeply about. So it was a lot of fun. It was definitely challenging, but it was fun. And I am really excited to see what Robin does with the art. And it's going to be in color. We're doing,
Man, that's
which was
a
wild because I'm
yeah.
not really like a color person that much. Like I love manga so much, so I just kind of dream comics in black and white, and Wash Day was in black and white, and I wanted it to be. So it's been really wild to see it transform into color and like, oh shit, like look at Kim with color. Like this is it's really wild. Like this works and it makes sense and it's beautiful. And I love Robin. I'm so happy to work with her again. She's amazing. And we became such good friends because of Wash Day. So it's been truly a journey.
So you
Truly.
got a good collaborator. So she's already started drawing it, huh? Because she's popping a little bit more now too since
Yeah, she
post
got
Wash
Nubia.
Day. Yeah, she
Mm-hmm.
got a DC young A graphic novel coming out.
I'm so
So
excited for her.
you guys trying to take over for the
For the knock
2020
knock.
for the 1-9 and 2-0.
Sure am.
So yeah, like so you talk about a little bit just like the growth or the opportunity
Hmm.
from going from like writing or thinking about things in shorts to going long
Hmm.
form. Is that how much of that is your confidence level
Hmm.
versus your skill? Was there a lot of stuff like your editor had to help you on, or was it a lot of it just because like I never did this before and
Yeah.
I'm scared?
Oh, yeah. A lot of it was like, um, I wanted to make sure I felt that I could do it. And I hadn't done a full like graphic novel like that before, and I didn't want to test things out for the first time with this kind of deal. So, and I've also just only been thinking in short stories for comics. Like all of the ideas that I have, like none are long form at all. So my brain just isn't even there yet when it comes to storytelling. Like I have a lot of short stories that I want to tell. So I just was like, well, just do that, girl. Like this is your decision. Like make it work for you. So there's definitely the fear of it, but I was like, I would rather. Um, and I've never worked under a deadline like this, and so I was trying to make it as manageable for me as possible with like working full time. And having chronic pain and illnesses, like there's so much on my plate. So I wanted to make this project like feel authentic, but also feel that I could do it. Um, and that worked. Also, like I just really didn't want to do anything else to Wash Day itself. So that was a really good way of me preserving it without feeling like changing its original like what I originally wanted it to be. It still is. So Wash Day is going to be one of the stories in addition to four other new ones. Um, so yeah, so that really worked out for me. I'm really happy with that. Next time maybe I'll be a bigger girl and do a bigger comic. But I don't know. This was months and months of work, so I need a break. That's for sure.
Yeah, because you're still out here hustling with the
I
day
sure
job like the rest of us.
I sure am.
You know, um, that can how is that holding up? Working on comics, working on new projects, working to work, and then like y'all can't really leave the house, and y'all out there in Florida, and Florida be
Hmm.
tripping.
Florida stay tripping. I had to, it's just my weekends were writing after work. A lot of the time was spent writing. Something that I did, because I really love data a lot, and I wanted to be better prepared next time for like better. more realistic deadlines that I could set for myself. So if I get another like book deal, I can accurately say like, yes, I can finish this book within a year or 6 months because I've done it before and I know how I can manage my time. So I literally use like Insight Timer, this or not Insight Timer, that's a meditation one, Toggle,
Mm.
to time myself, to see like whenever I was working on the script, I would just put the timer on to see how long it actually took me to work on this whole graphic novel. How long did it take me to work on each story? I haven't looked at the data yet, but I'm definitely gonna be making some graphs, maybe some pivot tables. Like I'm just so interested in it. It's just a personal thing, but it was really time management. Um, it was a struggle though because I still have like a lot of chronic pain. So there was just times where I had to tell myself like rest. You shouldn't. I would literally be looking at the screen and the words were blurry and I'm like, girl, go to bed. Like
Yeah.
your my head was like just in so much pain. So it was a lot of time management, giving myself breaks. But because we just didn't leave the house that much either, I didn't have the pressure of like, should I go out and party? Well, not really party because I'm washed, but like, should I go outside or should I stay and write this comic? So I didn't have that temptation, which helped, but the depression of the pandemic did not help. So it wasn't like, oh my God, yes, I'm just home all day. Now I can just write. It's like, nah, girl, your brain and body are exhausted from just going through what life is like in this country. Um, so yeah, lots of hours spent. It was just work and writing. That's what my life was for months. Which is why now we're talking because I was just hyper focused. Like I can't do anything but finish this. The weight of that was a lot. And yeah, deadlines, not a fan. They're necessary, but with so much going on, there's a lot of anxiety that was there.
Did they was it a accelerated timetable for this book, or
Let me tell you, I'm such a baby here. So well, let me see. I don't know what I could really talk about. Well, we got the deadline extended. I'll just say that. They worked really well with me and were able to yeah, we were able to extend our deadline. So the original release date was going to be fall 2021, but now it's spring 2022.
okay?
So I was really concerned making sure Robin had enough time to do the art, because it's like the later I am, the less time she has. So that
Mm-hmm.
was one of my biggest concerns. But so that was I've kind of how I work in comics is almost always putting the artist first. Like I'm always like, well, I want to make sure Robin is getting paid well. I want to make sure she has the time and doesn't have, stress to color and ink and letter and all that kind of stuff this comic. So they pushed it back and I'm very happy. Also COVID happened, so that worked out well for us. Like
Yeah,
as well as
no
like, well,
conventions.
we don't want this to come out earlier if we can manage it. 'Cause I'm not 20. What is it? 2021. I don't think I'm going to be out in these streets. We'll see what this vaccine is looking like, but I I don't know. I don't know.
Things can get better. Things can get better in 2021. I have
Yeah.
I have I don't know if optimism
Mm,
is the right thing, but
mm,
I listen to like the smarty art people. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, 2021 we gonna have it out here, and I know there's a lot of people saying like they're not gonna get the vaccine because of America and the history of America, but I'm
yeah.
like, yo, I ain't never had the measles, I ain't never had TB, I ain't have a lot of stuff because I got them shots way early when I was
Yep.
baby. So
Yep.
me and vaccines is Gucci.
Yeah. Flu vaccine. I'm about to get that sucker.
I've never got that before,
No,
but
yeah.
I'm thinking I might go ahead and do it this time because of everything going on.
Yo, you never, yeah, right? Mine as well. Mine as well, because it is wild out here. Like I don't even know what next week holds for us.
People be outside. Like I don't understand it. I walked outside to go get something. I got gloves on. I got a mask on. And people just outside because it's nice and and it's not just white people. I know there's a lot of things. It's like there's a lot of our people out there just
Don't care.
cruising,
Yeah,
cruising in the whip with the
yeah.
system blaring like, oh, like y'all don't.
with the COVID in the air.
Like y'all, and then
Mm-mm.
y'all ain't got no mask. Oh man, let me go back in the house, man. Let me go back.
And DeSantis, our governor here, opened shit up, busted
Yeah.
wide open for COVID, and everybody's out at these bars and restaurants at full capacity. And he removed the ability for, I think, like counties to implement fines on people. So it's just like before COVID. People don't care, and I am just in this house all the time, all of the time. It's driving me up the wall. And I'm a homebody, but it is like at this point just, and you know what, it's been interesting too, now that I just finished the script, I have like more time on my hands, but I can't go out and do anything. So I'm like, and I'm finally like up for air and I still can't, I just gotta stay in this house.
It's time for you
We'll go
to.
walk in the park and stuff, and visit like my family, but that's pretty much it.
I just say it's time for you and Jamar to go ahead and invest in that next generation of gaming in a month.
Yo, right? I don't know when we're gonna get the PS5. Maybe a Christmas situation.
I'm already pre-ordered.
Yeah,
I'm,
maybe a
I'm trying to
Christmas
get both
situation.
actually, so I'm trying to go. I'm going ham. I'm trying to live like a rich person. Um,
I mean, you're gonna be home all the time. Shoot,
yeah, yeah.
get your entertainment set up right.
So you mentioned that you worked on another project like in between that was your longest, like 32 pages. Can you talk
Oh
about that one?
yeah.
What's that one
Yeah, well,
about?
this is a Goon Goon, which is coming out. I announced that a couple months ago. I'm working on that with Samantha Wade, artist, and then Jay Michaelina's um, the editor for this one. And because of COVID, we just kind of put production and art on hold because there's no reason to rush this if we're all going through it.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully next year. I mean, I expect it to be next year. But I'm excited about that one. That one's like, I mean, I feel like a lot of the comics that I do, outside of like Wash Day Diaries, which is just like an extension of Wash Day, are really different. And I've thought about like, should I stay in the same sort of genre? Will readers be confused and not know what to expect from me? But I was just like, I don't care. These are the stories that I want to tell. Um, Somebody will like it. And if not, I like it, and so that's fine. But a Gungun, I don't want to give too much away yet, but it's about like ancestry and belonging, and that's what I'll say is very personal. That's
Okay.
for sure.
Okay. We look forward to that.
Yeah.
So in between all this work and you talking about your chronic illness,
Mhm.
what are you doing to make sure you get rest and relaxation? What do you like? Comics can be hard
Mhm.
for the
Mhm.
making
Mhm.
process. So what are you doing to, I guess, recharge your batteries and maybe even like recharge your idea batteries? Like are there
Mhm.
things you watching and reading
Yeah.
and listening to that's like, or you're even getting into like new genres that's like you didn't have time to before, but being in the house all the time
Mhm.
gives people a lot of reasons to explore.
Yeah. I have been watching a lot of TV. I mean, I'm a big TV person, so that's just kind of part of my life, like growing up. But recently, especially with writing Wash Day, I there are certain like shows that are really similar in storytelling that I like. So like I May Destroy You was such a, oh my god, phenomenal, powerful, intense, like gut wrenching show. That was amazing and such an experience. But what else? Oh, P Valley. I just started P Valley. And it
Such a
is
journey.
so it is so good. I think I've
Yes.
watched through 2 episodes or 3 episodes. I Me and Jamar are in awe. Like it is phenomenally written. The characters, like I don't know who I like the most. Like everybody's so good, except I don't like old girl's mom. She's trash, but
You're
that's the
not
point.
supposed to.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
supposed to
she's
like
trash.
Mercedes mom. Mercedes mom is
Yeah,
trash.
she's trash. But everybody, like, oh, my uncle was Uncle, what's
Uncle
his name?
Clifford.
George. Oh, Uncle Clifford, like the accountant, like everybody's. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much. And it's just like so country too. So P Valley and um Betty was really
Yeah.
Betty is the show on HBO. I think it's on HBO
Yeah.
Max.
It's HBO
With the
Max. Yeah.
skater girls in New York, and that was really great to watch while I was writing Wash Day because it was a like very slice of life. These girls in New York, like who love skateboarding and seeing what their like life and the dramas that are going on there, and it was like it just made me feel really good that like stories that I were creating were also they're also similar ones that are out there because I could easily see that being like a slice of life comic. Because I love me some slice of life. Woke, oh my gosh, I thought Woke was so funny.
Yeah.
Keith Knight's Woke, like I was not expecting it to be that funny. I thought it'd be like regular like decent show, but I was really impressed. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun to watch. Music inspires me a lot too, in interesting ways. Like even with like, I was obsessed with and still am Pray for Paris, and like West Side Gun, and even the inspiration I get from that isn't like, oh, I want to create a character like West Side Gun. It's like, oh, I want to create a character who is in love with niggas like West Side Gun. Like that's what I like. A girl that got like a bullet wound because she just loves thug niggas and just gets caught up in the mix. Like I want one of those. Like that's the inspiration that I get from that. Lots of just trying to consume a lot of black shit too. Especially in these times. Just like, ugh, it's what fills me. Which I recently watched The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
I still need to
That
watch that.
was
I still
so
need to
good.
watch it. It just
So
seems so. It seems like it's so much going on with it. That's like I don't have the. It's hard for me to have not. I shouldn't say patience, but the
mm,
bandwidth to watch
mhm.
sometimes things for like that I don't have to review currently.
Oh,
So it's just like I'm watching what I got to review and the little stuff I enjoy, like wrestling,
oh yeah,
and then
yeah,
it's like, nah, I gotta go work on stuff. Like I'm always grinding, and I still go to work every day, so for me things are a little bit
yeah,
different.
yeah. Oh yeah, because you go into the office.
Yep,
Is your office still empty?
yep.
Or wow.
It's about to be
Well, that's
empty for a long time.
yeah, yeah. My company works from home too. I don't know when they're. I mean, I've always worked remote for this company, thankfully, but it's gonna be a while, thankfully, that they're before they send people into the
Yeah.
office, unlike some other companies. What's been some of the stuff that you've been watching the last couple of months that you've liked?
Well, I'm glad you're watching P Valley. That's a really great show. I
But
was watching it week to week.
it's so good.
The use of the music, like
Yes,
stripper anthems all
I
throughout.
need that playlist. I think we were like two songs in while watching the first episode, and I'm like, I'm gonna need to find this P Valley
They got
playlist.
yeah, they
On
got one. They got
Spotify
one.
because it's so good.
I was like, oh, I don't gotta you search for nothing. Like,
Right?
okay.
Oh my God. I knew it. I was like, somebody either they made it or somebody did. Like a fan.
Man, that was really a surprising show. Like I knew I was gonna be into it when I saw like the clips for like the previews. I was like,
Hmm,
oh,
hmm.
you making a show about strippers? Uh, where do I sign up quicker? Like, how do I get the like,
Is there a newsletter? Let me know.
yeah, yo, I'm with it.
Patreon. I'm a part of this.
You know what they say? I love them strippers. I love them strippers. That's what Titty Boy told me. Me too. Let me sign up. I'm part of that club. I was like, oh, this show was good, and I watched Betty as well when it was
Yeah.
on. You should check out Skate Kitchen if you didn't get a chance. It's
That's
like,
like the original, like the
yeah,
one shot of
it's a
it, sort
movie. Yes, it's like the
of
movie
movie.
because the characters are a little bit different when you get to Betty. Some characters
Okay.
are the
Okay.
same, but they interact differently.
Interesting.
And like, yeah, so in the Skate Kitchen, it's about the focal character is the white looking Latina girl with the glasses who's kind of like their frenemy
Oh
in the
yeah, yeah,
show.
yeah.
So the movie is
Mhm.
about her
That's so interesting.
and like how she gets into skating because this, I'm into
Mhm.
research, so it's like that's like a real group of friends. Like they're not even like actors. Like
Oh,
they really made that. Like
it seems like they're. like they did casting off the street. Like they seem like real skater girls,
Yeah, it's
which is
their
really
group.
dope.
It's all based off of like their friend group or skater group.
I love
And
it.
then like some like woman found out about him, like producer or whatever, director, and she
Oh,
was
okay.
like, "Yo, oh, we could turn this into like a thing." And
I
then
love it.
she helped them turn it into a story, and then they made a movie. Then they got a show, and it's just like they really be outside skating and like looking cute or whatever. Because some of them are like, you know, really androgynous, and some of them are like
Mhm,
girly girly, but they all be skating.
mhm.
So like they all still skate, and you look at like their Instagrams, they all hanging out from before it and during it, and like and I just got more. Now they're getting a check for being themselves, and that sounds kind of cool. But I like that show. Lovecraft Country is great.
Oh yes, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's I enjoy it, but there are always like things in an episode where I'm like, I wish that didn't happen, or that pacing was a lot. But, but overall, I really like, especially the last episode, what focused on the what's her
Hippolyta.
name, Hippolyta. Yeah, yeah, that was amazing and timed perfectly for what I needed as a Black woman in America.
Yeah, they
These last
stumbled
couple
upon that.
weeks.
They stumbled
Yeah.
into it like they didn't know things was gonna get that
Mhm.
tough that week, and I was
Man,
like,
I hated it.
I watched it early, so I was like, yeah, Black women going to really like this episode on
It was
Sunday.
so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
Um, yeah, it's like it's like a bunch of stuff on, but also nothing on at the same time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like,
I've been doing a lot of stuff that already finished.
yeah,
Uh, Lovecraft Country is the only one that's going on now, but that's probably gonna be over soon.
yeah, you got like a couple more weeks. You got like 3 more weeks this
Mm,
weekend, and then 2 more after that. And then, HBO's gonna put something else on.
of course.
They got this other show called Show Me Who You Are, which is about like these kids who grew up on a military base.
Is that the one with Kid
That's
Cudi?
yes, that's the one where he plays a dad, and I was like,
Oh my
yo,
God, a military base. This is for me.
I was like, yo, he made like he's old enough to play like the father
Dad.
of a teenager.
Oh my gosh.
Wild.
No.
I'm
No.
like, oh no, like
What does that mean about me?
like millennials. That means you guys are becoming adults.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, wow.
Water too.
So
Oh,
like, I plan to
I'm
start
happy for
watching
him.
that. Me too.
I'm really happy for him.
Like he's in Bill and Ted 3, and it's awesome because he's just like
Oh,
himself.
he is. Oh, that's
Yes,
I haven't seen Bill and Ted yet. I want to check it out.
it's funny because like their daughters know who he is, and they're like, "What?" Well, they Bill and Ted don't really. They're like, "Oh yeah, cool, bro, yeah." But like other people, are like, "Who's that?" I was like, "That's Kid Cudi," and I was just hoping it's like, will they bust out the Cudi homes to save
Yo.
the universe?
Oh my God. That's what would save 2020. We just need him humming. Like,
I was like, man, but I was so there's been a lot of cool things, and um, I don't read as comics as fast as I used to, so I'm really behind on like all American comics. Uh, since by the time people read this, like I'll have my first short story out for DC. So I spent
yeah,
a lot of
that.
time.
That's
Thanks.
amazing.
I spent a lot of time working on that.
I
Um,
gotta buy that now. I'm buying DC now thanks to Robin. She broke my boycott.
hey,
So
hey,
only the homies.
hopefully I can get other people to buy them. I boycott their competition.
Oh yeah, I'm
I
still
beef.
boycotting them.
I beef with the other side. So
Marvel, they chilling over there. I'll wait till Robin starts to write for them, then I'll
yeah,
then I'll
yeah,
buy something
yeah. I'm like
or draw for them.
I'm trying to be like Tupac when he joined Death Row. Trying to hate on all the other labels.
Truly, that's honestly where I'm at. Like I don't care. Give me all the smoke. I don't. Nah,
Exactly.
I truly don't care.
So like, but I've been reading a lot of I still been reading my manga each week, and My Hero Academia has been really getting really amazing.
I'm criminally behind on my hair.
Oh, you gonna cry? I'm telling people that
Criminally.
like
Really?
if,
I've sobbed before reading that
yo
manga.
anybody I know that have cried from My Hero Academia, I'm telling y'all, say once y'all catch up, y'all gonna break out in tears. So there's gonna be parts that's just like
Shoot. Let me
it's
catch up.
it's too just Yo,
I'm nervous. I'm worried.
last week, yo, when it becomes an anime, people gonna
Oh,
be they're gonna have angry reaction videos. That's how sad they're gonna be, man. It's gonna be.
no. Oh my gosh.
But it was
Oh,
fire,
of course.
fire.
Of course.
He's working on another level right now. He's
Really? Okay, that's good. I'm
like,
glad.
like
I was a bit bored with the dude with the mask, that battle, or they all got masks
the
kind of, but
gentleman.
not the gentleman, the one before with the plague mask. The one
Oh
with the
yeah,
anime
I liked him,
hat.
but yeah,
The
yeah.
battle was just like really long for me. I didn't care about most of the chapters that they had, but I liked when they were back in school. But then I just fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah, just straight up fell off.
Things ramp up after that because then they spend time with like the bad guys and you learn the history of like the bad guy characters, the people part of the villain
Mm-mm.
association and
Oh, and I liked the other villains, like the OG villains, more than the newer
mm-hmm.
ones. I
Yeah.
think that's what it was too. But I knew they were gone. It was just like not as interested in that arc. But I still love my pure boy deeply, even though Vince Staples thinks he's a punk. Which,
Yeah. A lot of he's a
what's that mean?
he's not dynamic like Deku doesn't
No, he
he
isn't.
doesn't he's a reactionary hero character because
Mm.
he's such a good boy like he's not go hard like Bakugo is with the shits 1,000% all times. Um, there's other characters that are really with it. Red Right, he be getting like, yo,
I
I'm gonna
love
fight.
him. He's
Um,
like a low key fave. Like
he's
he, because he's so like he's like not toxic masculinity. It's
yeah,
like positive
yeah.
masculinity. Like it's great. It's great. I love it.
So like I get, but I think things are going to change for Deku haters. I think things are going
Oh,
to change a
good.
lot.
I'll get notifications on Vince's Twitter, see if he changed his mind.
We'll see once they, most likely he's an anime watcher. I don't know if he's really about that
Yeah, that's
Shonen Jump
true.
life.
Yeah, yeah, that
But
might be a Megan situation.
yeah,
I feel like Megan would probably read manga.
oh, I think if you introduce her manga, she'll fall into it, and then you'll
She
just
would
get
definitely.
random texts or DMs
Yeah.
like, "Yo, why didn't you tell me?" I was like, She sees that type, like,
She will
"Yo,
probably be like the type to read scans too.
yep." It's like I can't wait. Like yo,
She
I'm
would
just gonna
not
read it.
wait. She would go for this shitty scanlation.
He's like, yo, that was wrong. That was a wrong translation.
I've been there.
Like, yeah. Yo, you know what? We talked about this online, but what are your feelings on the Megan situation this summer? Like,
Fuck Tory Lanes. Period.
yeah,
like I don't. It's just it's one of those like surprise disappointed but not surprised things of how much people hate black women. Like the fact that he released an album and it went like number one in Apple was just like really you can't just like go on Genius and read the lyrics instead. Like you
yeah,
have
like
to
why
put
pay?
money in this man's
Yeah,
pocket. It's really wild. Like it's really wild how he's just like hella villainous right now. Like the lies that he's trying to do and his team. It's just he is scum. And I love Megan. Like I've been loved Megan, and now it's just like, well, I'm just gonna gotta play her a bit more, put some more coins in her pocket, even if it's like a fraction of a penny.
yeah. It was weird for me to see that people openly like question what happened
Mhm, mhm.
when we didn't get official confirmation from her.
Yeah,
It was 85% like if anybody who watched enough Law and Order or just read anything about detectives is like, yeah, he shot her. Like I didn't even need her to say nothing. Like I could put the
yeah.
whole thing together. Like
Mhm.
I was like, and what bothered me when his album came out wasn't like, yeah, that's trash that he did it, but I don't expect much from him.
Yeah.
But I'm going through my Instagram stories. I follow some people I don't know. I'm like many other single men out there. I follow women who are attractive to me that I don't know at all.
Follow the IG hotties.
Yeah, we fall prey to the visual algorithm, but the
Mm,
the amount of women I saw sharing like screen
mm,
caps of
mm.
his album, like two things have made me unattracted to women this summer: being outside without like a mask on and
Mask.
like
Yo.
just live, having your like summer hot girl summer, and Tory Lane screen caps. I'm like, yo, but he shot homegirl in the feet, like
Hmm, hmm.
like Yosemite Sam or something. Like I
Yo.
don't understand. Like how did it was like
I
that too with
I
Chris
don't.
Brown for me like
Yeah.
10 years ago. I
R.
had
R. Kelly, like there's a lot of black women who still cape for these men. It's there are so many black women who are like who support patriarchy just as much as men do. Uphold that shit. Like they're just a part of it as well. Um, fuck them too. Just
yeah,
like
yeah. It's just
also, is he even that good to be caping for? Like really?
I don't.
I can never hear another Tory Lane song in my life, and that would be completely fine. I can't even probably name three.
Yeah, I've had a couple on my playlist in the past, but like only one of them had nothing to do with someone else's song.
For real.
Like Chicks
He's
Tape was just him like the last one was just him remixing other people's songs, and he had those people on the song. So I'm like, oh, you got Snoop on the beautiful thing you doing on like or T Pain. I'm like, I'm here for T Pain. Like,
like
but yeah, I just sometimes I think out loud, and I'm glad you're able to you know
yeah, fuck that. Like
ask you these questions.
when it comes to like misogyny and violence against women, those are hard lines that I draw. Like just fuck them. Like X Tentacion or whatever. Like fuck him. Fuck them all. Fuck Kodak Black. Like fuck Drake? Question mark. Because there's just so much like speculation with some of his grooming stuff, but I think some is proven. So like it's just fuck all. Like there's just being a woman who loves hip hop is so difficult. It's really just picking and choosing like what misogyny I can deal with, and
Yeah,
if the bars are at least hot and the production's good, like that's what it is, yo. We got so many dope ass like female rappers out here. Megan, Rico. Oh, I just saw the Rihanna, the Fenty Savage show or Savage Fenty,
yeah,
whatever it's called.
yeah. I know a lot of people was
That
watching
shit
that.
was fire. Like I was just stunned that I was watching a fashion show because it was just like performances, like dancing, these huge choreographed numbers, performances by different people. She had Bad Bunny up in there. I was very happy about that. It was good. It was very good.
I have to check it out. I like how she's completely transitioned into
Yeah.
something bigger. Like no, like I'll put out music whenever I really feel like y'all gonna accept it,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, hey, yo, if if the if the women are happy with the lingerie and the makeup, let them be happy.
Yeah, she got all these different creative outlets that she could use. Like, do that shit. Build your empire, girl. Make this money.
Yeah, I think I didn't watch the last one, but I think I'll give it a shot just so I'm not behind. I like to be kind of current.
I don't think I saw the last. Did I? Maybe I did. I can't remember. I did watch that Guava Island though.
I did too. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. That was cute.
I'm looking forward to when Donald gets to
Yeah.
put out new visual material, because I think like on the low he's gonna be a problem in his 40s, and I don't think people
Mhm.
really understand. Like
He's like his growth is wild.
it's
Like
absurd. The 10 years
wild.
is absurd.
I can't even imagine what he's going to be giving us. Like in music, in film, and television, and what who knows? Some new shit. I don't even know.
Yeah, like he's one of the few like famous people that like I want to actually chop it up with. There's a lot of people say, "Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
want to meet them." I was like, "Nah, they look kind of boring." But like Donald Glover, I want to chop it up with, because I know
Or
the conversation would be interesting.
yeah.
I still want to meet Kanye West, but because I got questions.
I think we all got
I got
questions.
questions and I got answers, because he be saying some stuff like, "Why is this?" And it's like, "Well, do you want me to explain it to you or not?"
He doesn't want the explanation.
Yeah.
It's been
Um.
real hard dealing with like Kanye because I feel like he is the first artist that I was a huge fan of from the beginning,
Mhm.
or like as close to the beginning as closer than probably other artists. Well, I don't know. That's not even. Yeah, probably the one I'm the biggest fan of for so long. And so, and he's so talented, but like what he's doing now is really wild. But then there's also the bipolar disorder, and I don't understand a lot of it. So it's like, what is him being an asshole, and what is the bipolar disorder, and like how much grace should I give, and just kind of going through all of that while still really loving his music. It's
Mhm.
uh, it's been interesting a journey as a Kanye fan. I think a lot of people are going through this because he's such a huge artist.
And he still works with really good people. Like,
Mm.
I was talking to a friend earlier this week, and I was like, because there's this new docu series on, I think, Netflix about like music or songs, and like one of the episodes has Ty Dolla Sign on it, and I'm like, I'm
Oh,
gonna watch it
yes.
because yo, that's my guy.
I
He
love that.
makes the sweetest sounding ratchet music
I love
on
it.
earth,
Yes, that's so true.
and like if Kanye has a new song out and Ty's on it, I'm listening because
You
he putting that sauce on us. It's like, yo, you know them harmonies is gonna be killing it.
know it.
If he was like,
Like
I can't
so
listen,
sweet. Oh.
I was like, oh, but it's Ty Dolla. And that's where I get caught up there. It's like, oh, like, and also I guess you know what, to trail back a little bit, like I've literally seen more people defend Tory Lanez than Kanye West, and I know what Kanye West is doing is problematic, and but he hasn't committed a
he hasn't
criminal
sh-
act.
he
Like
hasn't shot anybody in the foot that we know of.
he hasn't like done like violence against a person,
Yeah,
or like done anything sexual harm against anybody. He's just like he's a
that
dumb
being
rich guy.
said. But yeah,
like
yeah.
like so it's like I could be mad at him, but yo, that's where I always sit with the last couple of years is that like yo,
Hmm.
people cape. I've seen more people cape for people who don't have mental
Yep.
issues and public issues that we all know that his wife got to come out and say like, hey, he is not on his meds. We are working
It
through this,
is
and it's
wild.
like, but like Chris Brown ain't got no mental issues. He just terrible. Like Tory Lanez ain't got no mental issues. He's just shot Megan. Like R. Kelly is just a monster pedophile person. Like,
Hmm.
but yeah, I always sit with that. I'm always thinking about this. Like I don't get people, and it makes me like stay in the house more. Like I don't understand. Someone help me out. And then I get all cynical, and you guys send me chats, and I know I give really weird, cynical answers, and I'm like, I don't care anymore. Like
Feel you.
people
I
are
like,
terrible.
yeah, I think I I've been better at letting things go. I've like this week, yo, was so challenging, especially with the debates. I was just angry like all week. And it just seemed like everybody was trying me. And I just had to like take a deep breath and let it go. I'm like, I'm already too like wound up. Let me not go off on this person. Or spend more energy because the energy that it just takes to function to keep my anger, like keep the lid on the anger is enough. Like I was feeling like Hippolyta in that in the warrior scene, just wanting
Mm-hmm.
to cut everybody up, just like kill motherfuckers. Not literally, but like
Mm-hmm.
the anger that I had was just like it was a lot. um and the stuff I see on Twitter is just like deep breath, keep it moving, try to find a funny meme to laugh at.
Twitter
Basically.
is. I know a lot of people say Facebook is terrible. Facebook is this. Yo, I almost feel like it's a lot easier for me to cultivate Facebook,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and the dialogue sometimes even though you might be dialoguing with somebody who you really disagree with, or who is straight out and out, like to use a term, stupid. Yo, it's different in Twitter. Twitter just
Mm.
become like a savage beast of like
It's so
hell.
much more of a like public like type of forum. Like it's a lot easier for people to find your tweets who don't know you.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. I that new feature with the like don't people can't reply if you don't follow them was they should have implemented that shit a long time ago.
yeah, like 10 years ago,
Like a lot they could have done it.
and
But they didn't. They don't care. They don't really protect people who are getting harassed out here on Twitter.
they don't have. Are you are your profile, is your profile right now public, or is it like
It's public. I don't actually get a lot of harassment, but I also don't tweet a lot. Like I don't know. I don't be in discourses like that. To be quite honest,
yeah, yeah,
I'll do a cute retweet and stuff, but a lot of the times I'll see stuff and I'll just like, yeah, I agree with that favorite retweet, but I don't think what I have to say will add anything unique to the situation. So, and I could get more like trolls in my mentions. So I just keep it moving, basically. But yeah, I haven't gotten too much. Sometimes I'll get some weird shit, and I'm just like, I just ignore, block. I just block. I don't give any energy. Mm-mm.
I do think about this now. It's like when this comic comes out on Tuesday, will more people look me up,
Mm-mm.
and will I have to go private or nah? Cause
Them comic gators, yo.
well, just yeah, even period, even people who might not be like super serious comic, they might like love Swamp Thing
The
too much, or
fanboys.
yeah, they just might
Mhm.
just ask questions. It's like, yo, like I don't really want this. So, they,
Yeah.
like our guys, like, yo, when will I hit the private button? Like, when is that going to
Yeah.
happen?
Were you thinking of like turning that on when it comes out, or you'll see
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
goes?
I thought about it. We'll see. We'll see what that first day is like. Um, like I'm not with it because I don't want to like actually have to change up how I am
Yeah,
just
yeah, I
because I'm
feel you.
writing like a corporate comic.
Yeah.
Like I say nigga too often, and I ain't trying to stop saying nigga.
Same.
I'm like, yo, I was like, yo, rappers get to say that shit all the time.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yo, black actors when they have certain age, they still say it. Like I'm trying, let me live.
I I made like the other Twitter account, which is like a very small group of mutuals only,
hmm
just so I could complain about being sick all the time and talk about smoking weed. Basically, is what I do there. Maybe throw some shade, but honestly, because I'll if I tweet publicly about being in pain, I get so many like, "Oh, have you tried this? Oh, have you
hmm
tried that?" And it's like, yeah, I've been living with this shit for years, and I know people mean well, but a lot of the times it just makes me feel like they think I don't know what I'm doing, or it's just unsolicited advice. Advice is just like, I did not want you to reply to me. I did not want any. I just wanted to tweet this out, just tweet
Yeah,
through it. I don't want to have a conversation, and I don't want your advice, especially if it's something real basic. That have you tried ice packs? Like, nigga, what?
yeah.
Um, yeah, but there is that other feature. Also, I don't tweet a lot. Sometimes I'll just go through moments where I don't tweet and it's just but I'm always in pain. So
hmm
I want my whole feed to just be like a sob story of chronic pain. That's not fun. I wouldn't want to follow that, but
Yeah.
I'm like my friends, they like my real friends, they can know this and just be aware. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Sending digital pats on the back. It
Basically,
helps.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like I want to end up on so I know so how is digital con season going for you? Since I
Oh my
know
gosh.
you're panelists on things, but it's different because now everything is Zoom calls.
Yeah,
How is that?
because I've been working remote for a while, I'm pretty used to just like Zoom life. But I don't know, it sucks because I just don't have the like that's where I make a lot of money is at conferences. So Black Josie Press sales are not going to be as good as last year. I wasn't going to be all over the country this year like I was last year, but still, like I wanted to do local stuff. And I was going to go to England and do, well, actually no, the London convention, Comic Con, was it LCAF? They did not accept my application, so that's that. Neither did SPX. So I got feelings, but anyway, I it's just been a couple panels that I've been on, and just trying to get some sales online, especially since Wash Day will not be sold once it's fall 2021. So you better get your comment because I'm not making I'm not
Oh,
making new reprints.
it's
It's
limited like Supreme drops.
it,
Oh.
yo, what you see in the shop, there's literally like less than 40. So
Woo, glad I got
get it
mine.
now. Get your exclusive.
Need to put
Because
that
that is
joint in the
it.
case. I gotta put mine in
That's
the
it.
case. That first printing.
um, but yeah, it's been cool to watch, like as an attendee. Like I did like the SPX panels that they had, and I've and Neil from Radiator Comics has been doing some dope stuff with Nuts and Bolts, just like comic focused panels. So I really liked the. I hope what happens is that we do more digital panels, like maybe cons do them like if next year is a bit like of a wash, like they continue that, I think it's really dope. I do wonder though how the sales go with some of these online conventions, like the storefronts that they have. I hope that folks are still like making some decent money there, because I know it's hitting a lot of independent creators hard.
Yeah.
And next year is still going to be a bit bumpy. So but I've been the Zoom calls are fine with me as long as my cats don't come up in there and start turning my computer off. And so
Dang.
Sage
Cat
is
mom life.
Sage is a mess. Like all my coworkers, like they all know him. He sent an email before because he stepped on my computer. Like I had to reply like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was my cat. Like here's the rest of my message."
You do know that now that like if you ever want to make like a really little kids children book, you got your characters.
I
You got
do.
your
No,
cats.
honestly, their personalities are so funny. Like Sapphire is this like kind of weirdo, like princess, maybe like goth girl, because she'd be looking like real spooky. Like she'd just be standing in corners, like staring in mirrors and stuff. Like she's a weirdo. And Sage is a goofball, like complete like goofy boy getting into trouble. Um, they have kept me and Jamar sane during this pandemic. That is 100% for sure.
That's awesome.
Like my IG is just like cats. Like
I
oh,
know.
I
Yeah.
just that's it. There's nothing else in this house.
This is you and the
Nothing
cats.
else. Me and the cats. Like look, they're doing something cool. Like this is the entertainment that I have all day, every day.
Life of a writer, 2020.
Basically. Oh man.
But I know you have to go, so I want to say thank you for coming back on.
Thank you for having me. Thanks for your patience.
Oh no, it's all
Right this
good.
through.
You out here hustling.
I'm trying.
I'm not one of them super duper famous podcasters. I don't. They got a lot of money in podcasting now. They gotta
They
have commercials
I know, right?
and ad sharing deals and everything.
Squarespace and
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Casper, what all the regulars.
yeah, Spotify buying you out or whatever the heck happens.
Shoot, I hope you get some of this podcast money
I want to get all the money, but
for real.
yeah. But thanks again. People know you. I'm still gonna put your links in the show notes, but you could tell people again if you want to be
Yeah,
safe.
sure. It's my name everywhere. So Jamila Rowser, JamilaRowser. So it's .com, Twitter, and Instagram, and then Black Jose Press, um, and on Twitter, Instagram.com.
There you go. Thanks again and congratulations again. And we're
Thank
gonna
you.
we'll do another one around the time the book is about to come out, and hopefully I'll be able to get Robin on too, and
Yes.
we
Oh,
can
that'd
have
be
a
so much
real serious
fun.
convo.
Oh my
So
God, we'll definitely talk about
hip hop too, because me and her love Migos and like trap music a lot. So
Yeah, who knows what rap music gonna be by then? Who knows? It's
no,
gonna be
right?
crazy.
Oh my gosh.